Salut! Aujourd'hui, nous allons finir le chapitre avec leçon 3. S'il vous plaît, tournez à la page 52 du livre texte. Avant la troisième leçon, les mots interrogatifs. For the exam, you will actually have to know the question words. I will review them in a bit. But you will also have to write out the questions to certain answers, and so instead of giving a lecture on just the new grammar from this lesson alone, I'm going to be combining it with with this page right here that you're looking at in order to supplement a little review for your test, which begins on Friday, and I will explain that in another message to you. Okay. If you look at the book, there lists only a few of the question words. There are a lot more than that, and they list a couple more on the new grammar pages later on in that lesson. But for now, we're going to do a little review on question words. I have here listed a couple of the question words that we will use in this video. Okay. Combien de, quand, comment, pourquoi, où, qui, à quelle heure, et finalement, qu'est-ce que et qu'est-ce qui. Okay. Regardez la différence. Qu'est-ce que, qu'est-ce qui. So I'm going to be talking about the difference between these two right here that I put in star because it's really important to note the difference, especially for the exam. Okay, do you guys know what all of these question words mean? If not, you can look at the book to review what they do mean. Okay, I'll have to put this down. So let's take a simple question like this. Now, why don't you tell me which question word this answer corresponds to? And I underlined the answer right here. Je prends le français parce que j'aime la culture. Alors, quelle était la question? Okay, voici la liste des possibilités. Okay, pourquoi? Clearly, the answer is pourquoi because the answer right here begins with parce que. And parce que complements pourquoi always. Okay, so whenever you see pourquoi, you think parce que to answer the question. However, on the exam, it'll actually be inverted. So when you're given the answer and you immediately see parce que, then you have to think pourquoi. So you have to formulate this into a question using the correct question word. Okay, pourquoi prends-tu le français? Par exemple. Ou pourquoi est-ce que tu prends le français? Okay, the next one. J'habite en Californie. What is the question word and how would you rephrase this sentence to make a question? If my answer is j'habite en Californie, what would be the question? The answer is où, up at the very top on the right here, the one with two letters, où. And so a possible question would be où habites-tu or où est-ce que tu habites? You can use inversion or est-ce que. It doesn't matter. Okay. La question, quelle est la question? La réponse c'est je dors à 11h du soir. Okay, a big hint is if you see a measurement of time, okay, as in right here, immediately you should think à quelle heure. À quelle heure? And then the question, one way of forming the question could be à quelle heure est-ce que vous dormez or tu dors le soir? Dormir is one of those irregular IR verbs that you do need to know for this course, so if you need to, make sure that you review it. It's not that big of a deal at this point, for the exam at least, but you will have to know what it means. Okay, they start getting a little trickier. So the answer is, il se marie en 19 juin. Bon, the question word is quand. Okay, listed on the left-hand side, the second one, quand. And a possible question could be, il se marie quand, where you just squeeze in quand, or replace quand for the date, underlined right here. Or you can say, quand est-ce qu'il se marie? Okay, this one right here. The answer is, mes parents sont agréables et extravertis. This one is a little difficult to think about because you have to you have to revert back and think of the question. And so if somebody is answering a question with something that describes something, for example, parents in this case, so what would be the appropriate question word? The appropriate question word would actually be comment, listed on the left-hand side, third one down. Comment. How are they? And then the answer would be right here. So a possible question could be, comment est-ce que tes parents? Or you can replace comment with the underlined parts of the question right here. Mes parents sont comment? Or tes parents sont comment? Alright, right here. The answer is, mon frère assiste à son cours de maths. What is the question word and how would you form the question to this answer? The question word is qui, because the underlined words right here is basically a person. So usually when it involves a person, the question word should automatically be qui. And in the case of qui, you can actually replace it in the question as well. So instead of saying mon frère, you can say qui assiste à son cours de maths, with a question mark in the end, of course. But qui is actually one of the easier questions to form. There are other ones that remain right here, qu'est-ce que and qu'est-ce qui, which I will explain right now. So take this answer right here. Moi, j'ai bu de l'eau minérale. So which one between the two starred questions would you use, the question words? If you really have no idea, take a guess, at least for now, and then I will explain. But the correct answer is qu'est-ce que, the first one that is starred. Okay, and I will show you right here. Qu'est-ce que tu as bu? And then the answer was, j'ai bu de l'eau minérale. Okay, the reason why it's qu'est-ce que, the first one right here, qu'est-ce que instead of qu'est-ce qui, it's because when you look at the answer right here, the underlined part is actually, the underlined part is the direct object of the verb boire, as you can see right here. So if you don't know how to conjugate boire in the past tense or even in the present tense, make sure that you do, especially for your exam. But anyhow, you use qu'est-ce que because when you look at the answer, the underlined part is the direct object of the sentence. Whereas in this answer right here, it would be qu'est-ce qui, because if you look at this answer right here, it is the subject. The underlying part is the subject of the sentence. And so this would actually be the appropriate question for this answer right here. Okay? Qu'est-ce qui se passe lors du divorce? So qu'est-ce qui indicates that it basically means what happened. And so what happened as in the answer will actually be the subject of the answer, the sentence as well. So going back to this list right here, the list is not restricted to these ones. Just for the sake of time, I only used these ones right here. But make sure that you review the rest of them on that page, page 52, and the grammar page as well on page 77, I believe. Yeah, on page 77, which explains furthermore how to form questions using qui, and then qu'est-ce que and qu'est-ce qui. D'accord, si vous avez des questions, m'envoyez un email. Demain, je vais poster votre révision et les instructions pour l'examen. Merci et au revoir.